First of all, Addi, how are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you.
Well, before we talk about the latest record, I'd like to start with what you did yesterday. I'm gonna have to find the title. But yesterday, to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the movie When the Ravens Fly.
The Flight of the Raven.
Okay.
Same.
Fair enough. But do you remember seeing that movie for the first time?
No, I can't. Not really. But I remember watching it as a teenager. Okay. But I don't remember seeing it for the first time because you sort of grow up always knowing about this movie, and I hadn't watched it in a long time before we took this assignment. So yeah, it's sort of in our blood because everybody knows about this movie and everybody has seen it, and it has some of the most famous quotes out of Icelandic, like one-liners out of Icelandic cinema history. So it's a really famous movie in Iceland.
And when you watched it, you say you haven't watched it for a while. When you watched it now, did you see different things in it?
Yeah, I guess it's the movie. The film itself aged quite better than the music did, I think. There's some strange 80s drum sounds in it, along with pan flutes. Today it's kind of weird. But the movie itself it aged quite better. It's kind of a dark movie. There's a lot of chapters that's not much dialogue, and I can see more today the references, the similarities between the Sergio Leone spaghetti westerns. Tryggvason, the director, was obviously influenced by the silent hero the man with no name.
Right.
So coming for revenge. It's the classic cinema thing, but it's some similarities to the spaghetti westerns, which I can see as a grown man, but I didn't see it as a teenager really.
When you watch movies nowadays, generally, then do you focus more on the music?
I'm not much of a movie nerd, to be honest, but yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Sergio Leone, and of course he's worked a lot with Ennio Morricone, which I think it's he is one of the greatest, and it's had a lot of impact on me and the band.
Because that's what I wrote down. Ennio Morricone, that you were influenced by or really liked his way of scoring.
We got into him. I mean, I have many scores of his. Okay. I listen to. I have it in my on my iPod, or I have it on vinyl even. And we sort of got into his music through spaghetti westerns, and that has he's influenced us Solstafir just as much as most of the bands that we've been influenced by.
And then, just before we get to that, just going back to the movie, when you were you requested for this project, or?
Yeah, Reykjavik International Film Festival. They approached us and said, "Are you willing to do this?" It was their idea. It was the 30th anniversary, and they had this idea they wanted to have someone maybe perform along with it to do something special. And it was their idea to have us, and they approached us, and we said yes immediately. Without knowing what we were going to do, they said, "You can do whatever you want to do." I mean, we had a month. If we would have had 6 to 9 months, we probably would have written new music for it. That would have been even more challenging. We didn't really have time for it. So yeah, we got the movie, sat down, we watched the movie and said, what shall we do? So we just we muted all the original score, left like a few seconds of it. Muted all the original score so we could see where there was gaps and holes, and we just filled up all this 1 minute here. When we looked at our catalog and we see what can we take from our catalog that fits 1 minute here, and here's a 10-minute gap. So we sort of bit sewing it together. And it's 110 minutes, so it's like putting together a 110-minute song. And it was interesting to do.
When you say you went into your own back catalog to look for music?
Yeah. We just we didn't have time to. We wrote a little bit new stuff for it. We changed a lot of stuff.
But
there's no vocals, for example. It's instrumental stuff.
Did you discover new things in the material you had written before?
No, not really. We just because we have long songs, so there's a lot of parts that we've done. There's like 8 minutes just playing 4 notes.
Right.
So it was quite easy sometimes to get like some instrumental parts that would fit in the movie.
And yesterday you played it alongside the movie, I believe, for the first time live.
No, we did it once before.
Okay.
We did this on this Reykjavik International Film Festival. It was what was it, October or something? September, October last year. And yeah, that was the first time. Even the director, Hrafn Gunnlaugsson, the director was there in the front row, and he was saying, he's a grown man. So he was very flattered. He came up to the stage and did a little speech. He was, yeah, he was really honored. And, it's really cool to see. It was a bit nerve-wracking having the director in front of you, but that was the first time. And we did this. So we're doing it for Roadburn, of course, because Walter is a friend of ours, and this is, it's an awesome festival. And we're doing it once more in Iceland for another friend of ours who owns a festival, Eistnaflug Festival. And so I think that's about it.
Okay.
We're not going to do it again unless something really spectacular comes up. But this is takes a lot of work, and so yeah, I think 3 times is enough to do this.
And then, well, doing the score and getting back to the influence you say from people like Ennio Morricone. When you write new music, do you have a visual in mind with the music? Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I always have this idea in my head that I'm walking towards this golden imaginary castle. Of course, there's no such thing, but the best song, the ultimate song being the castle, you're trying to approach it, it's somewhere there. It's like some higher power stuff. And sometimes when then of course we gather up and we write the music, sometimes we're just playing 4 notes for 2 hours. Just after drinking water and smoking cigarettes, so there's nothing psychedelic going on. But so when you're playing 3-4 notes for 2 hours, and you've stopped communicating and interacting, you're sort of in a natural trance. Then you're onto something. So and then again, you're onto something, and you feel like you're writing the ultimate song. You're almost reaching the castle. Right.
So, it's, you can see the gold is shining towards you, and then you sort of say, okay, that's fine. Then you sort of forget it, and you want to reach a new destination, find a new one. So yeah, we're always trying to make the best song ever possible. So that's why maybe we have sometimes our songs are quite different from one another. And we're trying to reach the ultimate with every song.
With the record Ótta, it's the latest. What song do you feel, it might be a difficult question, but what song do you think you have gotten closest to the castle?
That's a good question. I don't know. That's a difficult question. Ótta was quite. We were really pleased with Ótta, that song, because it has the banjo, and it doesn't sound funny. And we managed to mix this, banjo instrument with the working title for that song was the Country Autopsy song, because we had a country riff and another riff that sounds like Autopsy, the death metal band. So we managed to mix our death metal riff from a favorite band that we ripped off and a banjo instrument. So it's not laughable, and it's really atmospheric. We planned to have an opera singer in the song, which we didn't.
Why not?
We were supposed to have. I even went to Carmen in the National Theatre to scout the opera singer, singing Carmen. But then this song just became alive and took its own will to another direction. Right. So we don't need it. We have enough material here. So Yeah, Ótta was one of them. I think another song is Miðaftann. That was written on a piano in a dressing room in Münster in Germany. I walked into this dressing room once and Svavar, our bass player, is playing the piano. I said, "What is this?" "I don't know, it's just some stuff I'm fooling with and fooling around with." And I started singing on it, and I pressed record on my phone, and we did some improv. And in the studio, we said, I always knew this was going to be something. And we just put it on ice, and then in the studio, we rearranged it and got violin players to come in. We did just a string section. We ended up with like 21 violins, Wurlitzer and grand piano. And I think, you know, that was, we could see the glimp in the castle there.
And am I right in saying, I can't remember, but am I right in saying this was the first time you did strings in that way?
Yeah. We've spoken about it for some years. We planned to do it for the Svartir album, but we didn't. We didn't have time really. We were doing some other stuff. And so this time around we sort of figured, oh, we're gonna do it this time. And so yeah, the girls from the band called Amina. They ended up playing 4 songs out of 8. So the album is kind of colored by the strings, yeah.